Hello everyone, it's Miss Reynolds. Yesterday you looked at complementary angles with Miss Christensen, and today we're going to be talking more about complementary angles and looking at our notes. So, to start off, complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. So whose sum is 90 degrees. You can put the degrees symbol or you can write the word degrees. It doesn't matter. I put both, just so you know. Complementary angles form a right angle. So when these two angles are added together, they form a right angle, which is 90 degrees. A sum is the total amount when adding two or more numbers together. So sum means to add. So looking at these two examples here, in this first example, it says, in the example to the left, angle AOB and angle BOC are complementary adjacent angles. When added together, their sum is 90 degrees. So if we look at these two angles, we know they're adjacent. So here's angle AOB, here's angle BOC. We know they share a vertex and they share one side. So they are adjacent, but they are also complementary angles because when we add these two angles together, like they show, angle AOB plus angle BOC, which is 45 degrees plus 45 degrees, it equals 90 degrees. So they're adjacent and they're complementary. If we look at this example, excuse me, in the example to the left, angle AOB and angle BOC are not adjacent, but still, when added together, they equal 90 degrees, making them complementary angles. So if we look at these two angles, obviously they're not adjacent because they're not even attached to each other, but they are still complementary because when you add angle AOB plus angle BOC, which is 60 degrees plus 30 degrees, you still get 90 degrees, making them complementary angles. Looking at part 1, example 1, it says, remember, complementary angles are two angles whose sum is 90 degrees. Then it says, draw an adjacent complement for each angle. What is the measure of each complement? So, if you look, in A, B, and C, they give us an angle. We have to find out what is an adjacent angle that will go with this angle, making them complementary. So what will 80 plus what degrees will make it 90 degrees, making it a complementary pair. So if we know complementary angles equal 90, we're going to subtract 80, which what they give us, 90 minus 80 will give us 10 degrees. So I know my pair of complementary angles here are going to be 80 degrees and 10 degrees. And then I'm just going to draw, because it says draw the adjacent complement. Well, if this is my 80 degrees and I know it has to form a right angle, which looks like an L, I know its adjacent complement is going to be 10 degrees because 80 degrees plus 10 degrees gives us our 90 degrees. So we just had to work backwards there. Try doing letter B on your own. So looking at letter B, we're going to find what is the other angle that is adjacent to this angle, and then we'll make them complementary. So if this is 30 degrees, and I know complementary angles equal 90 degrees, I'm going to do 90 minus 30. 90 minus 30 gives me 60 degrees. So I know this pair of complementary angles, 60 degrees and 30 degrees, and now I just have to draw it. Remember, I know complementary angles equal 90 degrees, so I need to make a right angle. 30 degrees, its complement is going to be 60 degrees. Try doing letter C. So letter C, they give us a 45-degree angle. We know complementary angles equal 90 degrees when added together, so we're going to do 90 minus 45 gives us 45 degrees, and now we just have to draw it. So if I want to make a nice right angle, I can just continue it right here. 45 and 45 give us our pair of complementary angles, which equals 90 degrees. Part 1, Example 2. It says, name two angles that are not complementary. So we know complementary angles equal 90 degrees, so we want to find pairs when they're added together that do not equal 90 degrees. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to list off to the side the measure of each angle shown in this picture. So if I start off, here's an angle right here, angle AFB, I know is 75 degrees. I'm going to write that off to the side. So angle AFB equals 75 degrees. My next angle, angle AFC. So I know angle AFC is made up of these two angles. So if I add 75 plus 15, that's going to give me my measure of angle AFC. And I know 75 plus 15 is 90 degrees. So angle AFC is 90 degrees. My next angle is right here, this little tiny one. Angle BFC, I know, is 15 degrees. My next angle, I could go to this one right here. Angle BFD, which I know is 15 plus 75, which gives me 90 degrees. So angle BFD equals my 90 degrees. The next angle, so we did this one, we did this one. My next angle is CFD. I know angle CFD is 75 degrees. And last but not least is going to be angle C. Actually, that's not the last one. We have two more. Angle CFE is going to be 75 plus 15. So angle CFE, 75 degrees plus 15 degrees, which is equal to 90 degrees. And another angle is angle DFE, which is equal to 15 degrees. So there's more angles in this picture if you were to keep finding the angles, but I think we have a good list started so far. So we're going to name two angles that are not complementary. So we're looking for two angles when added together that do not equal 90 degrees. Well, if we start off, angle AFB is 75 degrees, angle AFC is 90 degrees. Add those two together, that is not 90 degrees, so they would not be complementary. So if I started a list over here, I'm going to put not for not complementary would be angle AFB and angle AFC. If we keep going, let's start with AFB, and what about angle BFC? So 75 plus 15, that would give me 90 degrees, so they are complementary. We go again, angle AFB is 75 degrees with angle BFD, well 75 plus 90, that would not give us complementary angles, so they are not complementary. Angle AFB and angle BFD. Give me two more pairs of angles that do not equal 90 degrees that are not complementary. So I'm not going to list all of them, but two other pairs that would not be complementary could be angle DFE, which is 15 degrees, and angle BFC, which is 15 degrees. 15 plus 15 is 30 degrees, so they would not be complementary. Another pair could be angle CFE, which is 90 degrees, and angle BFD, which is 90 degrees. Well, we know 90 plus 90 is 180, which is not going to be complementary. So there's a lot of pairs in here that will not be complementary. On to our favorite part, using algebra with complementary angles. So, part 2, example 1 says, angle 1 and angle 2 are complementary angles. The measure of angle 1 is 24 degrees, and the measure of angle 2 is 3x degrees. What is the value of x? So, looking at this picture, they give us angle 1 and angle 2, and they tell us this is a pair of complementary angles. So, we can see these two angles together give us 90 degrees, which is our right angle. So I know angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees. They tell us that and they show us that in the picture with this right angle symbol. So now I want to plug in what I know. They tell us the measure of angle 1 is 24 degrees. So angle 1 is 24 degrees. I'm going to plug it into my equation. Angle 1 is 24 degrees. We don't really need to put the degree symbol, but we know it's 24. Plus, the measure of angle 2 is 3x degrees. So angle 2 is 3x degrees. So the measure of angle 2 is 3x, which is equal to 90. So now I have my equation. 24 plus 3x equals 90 degrees. Now I need to solve for this equation so I can find the value of x. So I know I have to move my constants first, which is this 24. It's a positive 24, so to move it to the other side, I need to subtract 24 on both sides. When I do that, 24 minus 24 cancels. So you're left with 3x is equal to 90 minus 24 is 66. And now I need to solve for x. So now I have 3x is equal to 66. I know I'm solving for x, so I have to divide by 3 on both sides. 3x divided by 3 cancels. You're left with x equals 66 divided by 3 is 22. So x equals 22. Part 2, example 2, it says, in the angle below, what is the value of x? So again, we're solving for the value of x. If we look at this picture, it shows us two angles. They're adjacent to each other, and they form a right angle. We know that because of the symbol right here. We know they're adjacent. They share a vertex and a side. So these two added together equal 90 degrees, which is complementary. So again, we're going to write our equation and solve. So I know 47.6 plus x equals 90 degrees. So now I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to move my constants first. Yes, this is a decimal. You guys are more than capable of solving an equation with a decimal. This is a positive 47.6, so you're going to subtract 47.6 on both sides. 47.6 minus 47.6 cancels. You're left with x equals 90 minus 47.6 gives us 42.4. And this was x degrees, so I know this is 42.4 degrees. A good thing to note is that complementary angles are always acute angles because we know acute angles are 90 degrees or less. So if complementary angles added together equal 90 degrees, we know that they're always going to be acute.